Ah, very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all on frequency. This is the worldwide DATV Net coming to you again every Sunday at this time. And we wish to welcome everybody on frequency today on the Easter weekend and wish everybody a very happy Easter. We, as usual, would like to thank the Qatar Satellite Company for allowing us the opportunity to host our satellite on their satellite. We also wish to thank AMSAT DL, AMSAT UK, and of course the British Amateur Television Club, BATC, for their wonderful inputs, web pages, and assistance that they do give to amateurs around the world to be able to come onto DATV. Today we have an interesting program for an Easter Sunday. We have ZS1 Mike with no particular subject today. He said he might be on. He might not be. He's expecting a guest. But if he's on, he'll be on. And then hello Peter, Golf Whiskey 7 Bravo Zulu Yankee, to be followed by Ed, who's not having good weather at the moment. PY2 Radio November. In fact, I've gone up in power a little bit, Ed, to make sure you can at least read my signal. And then, of course, Ed passes it to Martin, G8KOE, Martin to Mike, and I don't know who else is on. I think I saw Alex just now, SP9ACQ. He's just entered himself. So Adam, not Alex, Adam, SP9ACQ. So Mike, if you pass it to him, that'll be great. And whoever else wants to come on, you can see the participation list. If you want to transmit, you go to those that web page on top there in blue, and we'll certainly get to see you. We also wish to say hi to all our YouTube viewers, and we hope you're going to enjoy the shortish program today. So let me just get the camera back on. I shall now pass it to ZS1 Mike, who normally takes it pretty quickly. If Mike doesn't take it, of course, if Leon doesn't take it, we'll just then pass it over to Peter. So ZS1 Mexico to please take it from ZS6 Yankee India.
I didn't see anybody come up. I hope everyone jumped all over Leon. Yeah. Turn the sound down. Get the microphone near me. On the thing, in case someone's shouting at me. No, seems not. I seem to have frozen on my signal anyway, so I don't know what's going on with that. Let's see if we can. Okay, no picture. I don't know whether you've got a picture from me or not. I don't know. Yes, probably. Good afternoon to everybody. This is GW7BZY. In sunny Wales for a change. It's not too bad here today. The sun now in the front of the house, and I'm at the back here, so it's quite warm in the morning and cool in the afternoon, and the front of the house is quite warm in the afternoon. So all's good. Well, I'm still just getting over me third COVID, I think. What have I been doing? Well, as usual, I'm repeating myself for those who do the midweek Thursday net on the BATC. I think Mike there's on. I just missed that for the moment. I think you're there. I think I would have seen that, which is my camera setup chart, which is meant to be shades of grey, and white to black. Came from opposing sides. Unfortunately, it's neither grey no white to black. My printer, although set to black and white, is obviously not black and white, and it seems to have faded and more blue as time's gone on, so that's not very good at all. Hopefully I'm synchronized. I'm sure Martin will comment there, Martin, if you think I'm unsynchronized. I did add 80 milliseconds of delay to the audio, and it did appear to me to be correctly synchronized, but there again, who knows. It's a bit of a chore, isn't it, the synchronization? It should be easy, but it doesn't seem to be. I have been playing with OBS. I know I like me vMix, but I'm not against OBS. I'm agnostic. Although I spent money on vMix, so I quite like vMix for lots of reasons. Use it when I go through my local repeater, because another station has vMix, and I use the NDI bridge, which links directly to his vMix, and it brings me in on another input. I've been playing with vMix, and what have I done? Oh, I've been playing in 4K, Gary. I decided to see whether. Yeah, audio. I forget. It was a G station that receives my signal, but there I am. The evidence, 4K. I didn't find anybody see any difference. Is it in 4K? I'm not saying, but it looks pretty sharp anyway. Maybe it's AI sharpening. Who knows? But it looks pretty good. So I have been playing with OBS. Sync seemed pretty good. It just randomly worked. But next time I use it, it probably won't. I am a little bit stuttery, as you can see. That's because I'm running 12.5 frames a second. I don't suppose it mentions that. And my audio is down to 200 kilobits, kilohertz. Sample rate's about 2,000 something kilohertz rather than 48, 2004 probably, or somewhere like that. Probably unnecessary to have a broad audio bandwidth, and of course occupies more space for a given amount of data. That's about it this side. I was talking to Gary, I think, saying that I'm going to put a dish up. I am going to put a pole and a dish up outside. I did have an iron bar, a digging bar, that I've had a number of years, and I moved. I have a dreadful feeling I threw it into a skip, thinking I would never need it again, and now I want to dig a hole to put a scaffold tube in the ground, and I'm going to have to buy a new. And I don't like spending money particularly. I still haven't got me, although I am going to buy a new boiler for the house. At the moment, I'm making do with the fleece, but that's going to happen. The wife is, for some reason, quite keen on us having central heating. We do have a gas fire, and I was brought up with one fire in the property, but now, the council tell me that if my property doesn't have more than one source of heating, it's not fit for human habitation. I can't quite understand that, but apparently that is the case. People are spoilt these days, and I'm sure some cold would do them no harm. Anyway, that's neither by. I hand it round. Who's next? Let's have a looky-see. A strange problem with Open Tuner. The latest version, which I think is the 3rd or 26th, I don't know. I can't record. Every time I push the record button, I wanted to record the signal so I could see whether my voice was synchronized. But every time I push the record, it sees as a viral attack, and the computer shuts down Open Tuner. So if Tom's about listening, that's something that needs a look at. From GW7BZY to the group, and I just haven't got a test card.
Shall I now steal back my turn? Gee whiz, Peter, you were quick. GW7BZY and the group ZS1 Mike saying good afternoon to everybody, and good morning to Ed. I haven't seen you for a while. Okay. Yeah, nothing to report here. My visitor left just in time, Gary. So I was here in time, but then I forgot we're having load shedding from 4 o'clock onwards. So I quickly had to start up the UPS and replug everything. But I was still in time. And when you gave it to me, I was just too slow. Peter beat me to it. Okay, right, let's give it to Ed. Papa Yellow 2, Romeo November. For the group, this is ZS1 Mike.
Yeah, hello everybody. Morning, evening, afternoon. Hello, Gary. Thanks for the net again. Let me mute myself because, okay, yeah, better now. Hi, Leon. Nice to see you. Um, GW7ZBY, also nice to see you. Well, hello everybody. Let me switch to my camera here. Yeah, weather is being very nasty. I think we definitely getting rid of summer, and autumn just popping in, and it's it's raining a lot. This is the camera, I think. Yeah. Hi. Yeah, summer went away and now it's autumn. Temperature at the moment 22 degrees, very nice outside, 24 inside. But too much rain. Hopefully the rain will come down from now on. There's not much going on. Just I see. I think Martin is playing with the HF amplifiers. I'm doing the same here. I'm also playing with HF amplifiers and getting getting good results most of the time. 6 meters also very interesting. It's opening for several places in the globe. Yesterday we had Middle East, we had North America, we had also Cook Island, I think near Australia. Everybody almost at the same time. That was a very interesting opening on 6 meters lately. It's a many people call 6 meters magic band, but I used to say it's a crazy band because yeah, it happened yesterday, but probably today you're gonna be totally closed, nobody. That's very usual for 6 meters. I think I am overpowered. Decrease a little bit, but anyways, everything okay, guys. Nice to see you all. Happy Easter and happy Passover, and wish you get a great time with family, friends. That's gonna be my only transmission because wife is waiting to go to mother-in-law. I'm gonna have lunch there and be back later on. Thank you all. And now I think it's Martin, G4 Kilo Oscar Echo. I lost the list. I don't know why, but I lost. But I think it's G4 Kilo Oscar Echo. Transmission goes to you from Papa Yankee 2 Radio November 73 to all. See you next week.
Yeah, thanks there, Ed. Yeah, good pictures for me today. Certainly good. Yeah, thanks there, Ed. Let's mute the sound. I think we're working. Yeah, not a lot really I'll be doing here other than tidying things up. Happy Easter to everybody. Before I forget, I usually forget all those sort of things. Yeah, I've been playing with the narrowband end. I'd hoped to use the main PA and drive it at low level, but it didn't like it, so had to redo things. And running a separate PA, which I can drive nice and low. I've just got to make a slightly better match into the aerial. I was using a separate feed at the moment, but I might switch the potty between the two PAs depending on how things go. But I can put signals to the narrowband end now. Just got to get the net up the transmit and receive a little bit different, so I need to adjust things there. But I did listen to the AMSAT net this morning, and I was listening to Mike, etc. But I thought I wouldn't join in because there'd be criticism that I wasn't spot on frequency, so I'll get that sorted out first. Other thing I've been doing is I took down the aerials for 70 and 1.3. As there's so little activity here, I've been sorting out PAs that I shall need to get rid of. We'll see one of those 18 watt little blocks. That will be need to stick that up and get rid of that. Oh, and for 70 stems. Now, I'm going out of focus. Come on, come back in focus. The lighting must be a bit bad. I know it's a big box and it's a little PA. It's only 7 watt PA sort of thing, but it was only the box I had at the time. So that's to go. And that used to drive this beastie, which I think is a 45 watt jobby. Not that I ran that at 45 watts. My 77 PA. TV rather, but that's things to clear out. Then I can possibly use the money and perhaps I'll play on some HF. But I don't think I'm going to go quite to the lengths that Mike's going, but I'd quite fancy having a little play down there. Maybe I might be able to make contact. That's top band I fancy, but don't have anything other than the 991. That's not going to be any good, so I need to build some bits and pieces up, perhaps, if there's going to be any activity there. Oh dear, I'm getting the hiccups. And to Peter there, I think your sound was in sync. I didn't look terribly closely at it, and I thought you were going to align your other dish. Did you ever do that? Probably not. You probably gave up, right? And yeah, I can't put any more power than I am running. That's probably the maximum I can do from the current setup. Right, now it's round to Mike, I think, who can tell me how easy it is to get on to HFD ATV. You do make things look too easy there, Mike. So I'll pop up a test card and throw it over to you. And also good to see... it's more to Adam. Good to see your pictures up. They were good again. I think Nigel's also going to come up, which is good. Anyway, round to you there, Mike. From Golf 8 Kilo Oscar Echo.
Okay, thank you, Martin. All good. Just a few comments. I'm just wondering why Peter needs a hole digging tool, but you can get them in Screwfix. Anyway, yeah, Leon, you'll just have to get your trigger speed up if you're going to get in quickly enough to beat Peter. But very good picture, by the way, and your background's different, so it was easy to see you, but maybe it was a little bit more blocky, I'm not sure. Anyway, it was still a very good picture. Ed, it's still very cold here, but enjoy your lunch with the in-laws. It's been sunny in the UK, but it's not got warm yet, so if you're in a sun trap, you're fine, otherwise it's really cold. Martin, the QO-100 SSB net, that's the one that's on 780 on the narrowband transponder at 10:30 local time in the UK. Everyone's welcome to join that. We don't mind if you're off frequency as long as you tune into frequency once you join it, which is not too hard to do. It just involves tweaking the XIT a bit and getting on channel. It should work okay. If you've got a Lime, it's a lot better than a Pluto. The Pluto does tend to drift, and that's a bit of a problem because I have a Pluto. I've changed the TCXO in it though, and that made a big difference. The amplifiers you've got, well, they look quite interesting. The little 70SEMS one is, I think that's a 5-watt PA. That's exactly what you need to drive those pallets that we got from those NEC PAs. Much better than trying to drive them with a rig that's got higher power. So if you want to drive one of those with a Pluto, you want to hang on to that. But yeah, get rid of the microset amplifier. And I didn't catch what band the other one was on. I've got loads of stuff to get rid of as well. As for DATV on top band, I think we should be able to do it. I think you probably need to come up with some coding that fits in a standard AM channel, then people won't complain too much. You can do top band AM. You can do top band FM, but people tend to frown. But top band AM is quite common, so if you're in that bandwidth, then I don't see any problem. And DRM does that indeed, but still waiting for a suitable modem. Right, so what was I going to talk about? I was going to talk about amplifiers, wasn't I? So let me just go over to the Polycom. You can probably see this thing set up behind me here. There it is. That incidentally is a new radio which appeared yesterday. Very, very cheap and actually quite chunky, quite good. And the spectrum is surprisingly good for Baofeng. Right, here we go. So this is the amplifier, zoomed in on the Polycom, and what I did yesterday, in fact, finish it off, no, it was Friday, was finished off this front panel. So I did that on my milling machine. I think you're probably able to see it. Still needs a little bit of work. I need to paint it and label it. But there we go. Nice LED holes and square holes for the bits and pieces. And an LCD. Apologies that it's upside down, but there's a reason it's upside down. And that is to show you what's inside it. So that's the display showing the voltages, the currents and the temperatures and what band it's on, 4 meters, which is upside down as well. And transmit is off, but the PA is enabled. I'm not going to demonstrate it transmitting, that's inviting trouble. The actual unit itself, that's inside it. And on the bottom, I think I showed this before, there's the filter board. This is a kit, by the way. There's a filter board. Above it is the PA board, and then there's the back panel board, which won't fit on my back panel, so it's just mounted flat, and I'll re-put the connectors onto the front with some patch leads. And right on the far right hand side you can just about see the 2 PCBs I had made, which are the ones for the control and the monitoring and driving the LCD. So that's that really. Performance wise, it's not quite performing as I expect on 4 meters. I think the filter might be a little bit cutting off a little bit too harshly, I don't know. Anyway, it's not quite right on 4. I mean, it'll give the legal limit in the UK, which is 160 watts, but it doesn't seem to want to give a lot more, and it's very inefficient. But it seems to be working on HF. Only thing I'm a bit worried about is RFI, So I might need some ferrites to see, or might need to add some ferrites to resolve that problem. We'll wait and see. All the lines have got capacitors on them, but they haven't got ferrites on them. So there we are. So hopefully that wasn't too boring. Not much else to talk about. It's been quite a short net, but I believe I need to pass it to Adam. Oh, you're not looking at me, are you? So I believe I need to pass it to Adam, SP9APQ. So round to you, G0MJW.
Checking the audio, checking the audio. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, looks good. Hello everyone, hi everyone. Happy Easter at first. Mike, very impressive, your PA, your power amplifier. Also nice boxes have G8 Kilo Oscar Echo. Today I want to share with you something like this. There is web page of Daniel Esteves, which is Doctor of Mathematics, yes, and he just do some findings because he was measuring QO-100 to wideband transponder power budget. Okay. And after many readings, okay, sorry for that, but must find this. Oh yeah, that's the point of my talk. We can see that beacon uses 50% of total power of transponder. Nice floor uses about 20, and the rest is for us. So his findings is also that everyone uses different QPSK, but everyone should use 1/4. Yes, 1/4. Because power of the transponder and is eating by by beacon is power consumption is a very big for noise, and for the stations who want to be on QO-100 visible, for example on DATV, so weak stations cannot be on this transponder because others use too much power. So this is my findings from Daniel Esteves. I recommend to read what he finds with his methods, mathematical methods. Okay, thank you thank you for all. And oh, nice, nice picture with these bunnies for Ed. So greetings to Brazil. And I should call to next one. 2 Echo 0 Echo Hotel.
Yeah, no, we're happy to see you. I was actually talking to Leon the other day. I said, Al, you know, we don't see Nigel on any longer. And Leon said, you won't believe it. I saw, well, that was a couple of days ago. And Leon eventually came back and said, you won't believe this, Nigel's on. So I'm so pleased you're on. I'm sure you'll find the little button. Click it and we'll get the audio from you in due course, Nigel. But while you fathom it out, yeah, I've had an interesting thing with the little Grundig satellite receiver, the FM side, FM band or VHF band was completely out. And of course, it's got a little 30-volt inverter. And when I measured it, all I could get out was something like 13 volts. So that's no good. No wonder it was all over. And it's using a little chip. I think it's called a TCA 720. Now, I hope this darn thing can focus. Bear with me while it focuses. That's a little board. And that's a little chip there. I see. What's the aim? Not focusing nicely. I'm all over the show with this open shutter. But anyway, that little chip looks like a transistor. And Leon reckons it's these two Bakelite caps that have probably seen better days. Anyway, now let's see how quick this thing focuses. I reduced some of the light. I think it looks a bit better, I'm not sure. But yeah, so that's what I've been playing with this morning. And then I had a very, very funny thing happen. About a week ago, I had the SDR console on the narrow band. And I had the ICOM 9700 with the CUNY up and down converter. And all of a sudden, the SDR went dead. The signals all disappeared, and I couldn't figure that out, so I went over to my 9700. About 5 minutes later, it also decided to pack up, so that was quite strange. Two different stations, completely two different dishes, and both packs up. Anyway, I found out what the reason was for the SDR. Is an issue with my LNB. I think there's a ant or something, or a bee, who knows, inside the little LNB, and at night it tends to you can actually see the signal disappearing, going crazy and disappearing. So that was quite strange. But yesterday I was on the 9700 just monitoring, and suddenly it also went for a loop, or the day before yesterday rather. Suddenly there's no signal. I thought, okay, it's daylight now, I can get out to the dish. I measured everything. I measured the GPS discipline oscillator frequency down there, perfect, 10 megs on that particular one. For the QO-100 down converter, measured the voltages, were right. I checked the radio, made sure that I'm receiving on 433, transmitted a little signal on 433, perfect, no problem. And I couldn't figure this out. Anyway, what I did notice though is I'm running a Leo Bodner on 10 megs, and that runs, it's a dual Leo Bodner, and it runs 10 megs for the QO-100 up converter and the down converter, as well as I'm running the ICOM, locking that as well. And sometimes I switch off the power to the Leo Bodner, and when I switch it on, I can hear it hunting, all over the show. And I thought, wait a minute, it could be that. So switched off everything overnight. Yesterday morning came on, first switched on the Leo Bodner, got that stable, then switched on the rest, and my goodness, the LNB has come back perfectly. So it must be that, I think, something messing the frequency of the oscillator around. So it's been a Murphy weekend, I can promise you. Because the other thing that happened, you'll see I'm sitting with headphones on, is because I've got one of these little JBC or something. JBL, is that what they call it? A JBL little sound box thing. And I just got it on top of the computer. And a couple of times I've noticed the battery runs flat because I haven't charged it. But now it switches on for about 2 seconds, perfect audio, and then it goes, it dies. So I even tried to reset it, and no problem. So that's not working. So eventually I took out the battery. What a mission, I can tell you. This is the battery. So let's see if this thing focuses. It's got a funny little plug there and many wires out. So I measured it, 7.2 volts, actually a little bit over. So I don't know if there's no capacity in the battery, but anyway, that's open on the bench as well. Too many things open. However, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Nigel, would you like to have another over, if you don't mind? And then you pass it to Leon. And then Leon can pass it to Peter. So, Nigel, please come aboard, my dear friend. It's lovely to see you, and let's hope we can hear you today as well. I'm sure we will. 2 Echo 0 Echo Hotel Hotel from Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India. Having a little problem. Pity. Okay, Leon, will you take it and then pass it over to Peter? ZE6YI.
Okay, thanks, Gary. ZS6YI in the group, ZS1 Mike returning. Right, yeah, Martin, Mike, what made me a little bit slower was this running around to get the UPS and stuff going, which I forgot that we're going into load shedding at 4 o'clock. And that's where I lost just the extra 2 seconds. And Peter got hold of it. Okay, Gary. Gary, just for interest's sake, I quickly calculated your loss from your amplifier to your feed. That's exactly 1.94 dB, so call it 2 dBs, which is quite a lot. So of your 15 watts, you lose about 40% of it you lose to the feed. So you're probably running about 8 or 9 watts at the feed there. So it all ties up. Right, Peter, yeah, your sync is still out. This thing of yours, audio test, that's no good. This is the only one that works. And I'm on an. This is the only one that works. I'm on another port now, so I don't know if mine is still. It doesn't look too bad, but. Okay, right. Ed, yeah, I also saw the bunnies there, but the one's got a rock on his head or something. I don't know what the meaning of that is. Martin, what did Martin say? No, he wasn't. There wasn't much from him that I must comment on. Mike, beautiful layout on that HF amp with filter and everything that you've made there, and yeah, you've really got your milling machine running nicely now. That front panel looks superb, very nice. I'm not putting any effort into any HF stuff here at the moment in this country of ours. They are replacing all the street lights with LED lights, and you know what cheap mains driven LEDs sound like. Their houses have all got radio controlled ripple control of the geysers, which is also noisy. So any serious HF work, you have to move out of town, go on a field station or something like that. You don't do HF from the area where I am. Gary is in a remote corner of Vereniging, I think 3 Rivers. I don't think there's much activity there, so he can still do HF. But yeah, as a matter of fact, I gave away my TH6 beam last week to Raul, Gary, because he's in a quiet part of the world now. He's moved away from Cape Town, and as you know, he's a very, very serious DXer, especially on CW. So he's got the TH6 now, because I'll never put it up. Okay, Adam, yes, that was very interesting. Yeah, it's a pity we should have more time to study that whole chart that you've got there of QO-100 thing. Of course, yeah, the other reason why you need a lot of energy for the beacon, it seems wasteful, but it's not. If the beacon is not wide enough, if you don't have enough power there, you're going to have a great difficulty finding the satellite. I mean, you cannot find the satellite by looking at the SSB section. The power density is just too small. But if you find it on the beacon, the QO-100 beacon, the TV beacon, there's a lot of energy there. So even with a normal little sat finder, it's quite easy to find QO-100. But if it wasn't for the wide beacon, we would have battled. So yeah, that's the other reason probably. Anyway, I'm sure they've done all the calculations of why they have the beacon take up. The irony is that the beacon's video is in such a low resolution. I mean, that's not a sharp picture at all. It doesn't come near to what we are operating here now, the sharpness of the beacon's picture. But that's not the idea. I like the idea that they are showing the launch, because I love showing it to people, you know. But yes, it's occupying 1.5 megs, and it's got like not even a 333K resolution. But it's doing a good job. We have to have the beacon with lots of energy, unfortunately, so that you can easily find the satellite, especially for field stations. It's very easy to set up a dish in the veld for QO-100 with a nice big beacon. Okay, Nigel. Yeah, when we were discussing your audio, was it yesterday or the day before? I can't even remember. Then your audio was low because you had it in the line input of the computer, the blue socket. It should go into, what is it, the pink? I think the pink or is the pink the headphones? I can't remember. I'm not a computer guy. But I know there's a mic input, and it should go into the mic input, the output of your cordless mic. And then you should have good audio. I don't know if you perhaps forgot to switch on the receiver of the wireless mic. Or what was causing your lack of audio, but we hope you get it right pretty soon. Okay, Peter, over to you. GW7 BZY for the group. ZS1 Mike.
There we go, GW7BZY. All good this end, all good for everybody. Apart from the cough. Okay, sorry the lips aren't synced. Gary, Leon, I'll clap now and you tell me how many, I'll be monitoring the text on the BAT site, that particular text and message. Whether tell me, I give me two seconds of delay, so I might just do away with that. No one's telling me whether or not it's too much or too little, or we'll go with 0. There we go. We've got 0 delay now. A bit too much audio as well. A little bit. I see that. Just a little bit of too much audio. Okay, and everything. Martin, the dish is the second dish isn't up because someone's go to work, and the second reason is I haven't found my trossel, and I don't know if a trossel is a word that's known outside of my locality, but it's an iron bar about 50 mil, about 5 foot tall, and is ideal for digging holes. And I know I bought it from the last location and moved, and it's 2 years since I've been here now, and I've got the dish up on the edge of the gable end of the building, but I was going to put a pole in anyway for the HF antenna, but as Leon there, same problem here, I have a HF radio. I put a long wire up, all I got is static. Because I think, I might be, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the internet goes down the mobile, they obviously go down the mobile, the phone wires, but they're kind of modulated on the HF band. And some of the super fast broadbands are even up to the VHF band, so it's a non-starter really. I put a HF radio on, and yeah, I can hear stuff if I use a vertical just about. And I have been pondering a magnetic loop. And if I wasn't buying I've frozen on my thing. Somebody tell me if I'm frozen. If I wasn't forced into buying a boiler, I would purchase a magnetic loop, one of them all singing, all dancing automatic ones where it plugs into the back of your radio and it tunes it. So that's what I was dreaming of. And then I'm tormented, I want a new motorbike. So there's quite a few things competing, unfortunately. Hopefully I'm putting a signal out. I've got no picture at all this side. Just going to up the power a little bit. That might do it. Am I coming in now? We'll go a bit more. Go, babe. There we go. That should at least. I'm sure you can see me now. everybody can. So there's different things competing for my pocket money. Motorbike, boiler, of course, is not pocket money purchase, but it will deplete my pocket money. Lens for camera, new camera, not going to happen, is it? But yeah, sorry to come in before and beat you to the trigger, Leon, because we did give you a pause to go. What else? Yeah, so I've got to dig a hole, Martin. Then I'll put a pole in, and then I'll put a dish up. Cause I thought you was. And strangely, I never tuned to the beacon. I always tuned to the low band, because I find it quite easy to do, because you can just turn the dish and then you can see the stops of the narrow band easier than I can see the broadband beacon. And Mike, yeah, very good job on your amplifiers there. As always, you're doing great stuff and putting at least to me to shame, and a lot of people, I think, with your construction. Good to see Nigel there. Didn't hear anything from you, but I think it's the first time. Welcome. Hello, how are you doing? No doubt we'll get some audio from you next time. I think I'm going to pass it round now. I think I've rambled long enough. Yeah, KEO, yes. I was going to mention that your sound was booming quite disturbingly. I've got a expansive sound system, and it's got a bass box, and you were booming. You know, it was rattling me fillings. But never mind. I'm sure you'll try again next time. From GW7BZY. That's a must do better, Martin. 7BZY. Oh, I'll just go on. Oh no, I'll put my test card on.
I'd forgotten it was me that was following on. It had disappeared. Anyway, yeah, your sound sync was quite reasonable. Then you decided to remove all the, and it was way out, absolutely. And yeah, why don't you set your existing dish up rather than going on about this second dish? The feed you've got on your it needs changing, doesn't it? Needs spending a bit more time on, then you wouldn't need the second dish. Most of the time when you said things were freezing, it's your receive that's freezing, not your signal. So you need to sort your receive out big time. That's where your failings is on your station there, Peter. And to you there, Mike. Yeah, I use DX Patrol up converter from the 991. So it's not using the Pluto at all, or a Lime. So that's the way I get up. And I've got them synced or tracked, but I can obviously off-link that and just tune one or the t'other. But I was trying to get them to track as close as I can. Yeah, we'll put a signal through. It was interesting listening to the net. It seemed quite quite interesting, actually. Quite knowledgeable. Not that I think I've got much to add to the net, but I will call in one week and just say hi. Yeah, listening to all the different bits and pieces. And yeah, that's the 18 watt PA 1.3. Which needs to go, I think. I've got an aerial to go with it, etc. Which needs to go. I need to sort it. I think it was expensive when purchased the bits and pieces. And to you there, Gary. I see you've got the out of focus background again, and you need a bit of powder on the shiny bit. I think it's on your right side, isn't it? It's catching the light as it's coming in. But no, cracking pictures, definitely. And is that a new chair? Don't seem to recall noticing the red bits at the top of the chair. Looks like a more comfortable chair. What else can I comment on? I don't think there's much else. And yeah, your construction then, Mike, just leaves mine. Almost ashamed to show what I put together. The eyes aren't as good as they used to be, and I make lots of silly mistakes, drilling holes in wrong places or mounting things slightly crooked. But yeah, I did have a problem this end with the computer. I sort of went out into the garage to make up a lead to the PA. I wanted to put a slightly better one feeding it directly from the PA to the directional coupler. So I made up the lead, came in to test it, that things were still working, and the Pluto wasn't there on the system. So I thought, no Pluto. Not to tell me I've got the same old problem. So I unplugged that Pluto and I got a second Pluto and I plugged that in and that didn't work either. So I thought perhaps the drivers had gone amiss or something. So I reinstalled the drivers. Still nothing worked. Then looked at Device Manager, and there was something that hadn't been recognised. And to cut a long story short, I feed the Pluto etc. into a USB hub, and the USB hub had suddenly stopped being recognised by Windows. I think Windows must have done some updating and the sort of rebooting up hadn't sort of recognised it. So I actually plugged the hub thinking it perhaps had gone wrong, plugged the Pluto in direct and everything worked fine, then plugged the hub into the front of the computer. It found it straight away, was quite happy, then plugged it back where I originally had it, and everything's working. So I do put it into a Windows one, that one, an update I think, do things out totally. Anyway, good to see everybody on this net. Not sure how many people will be here, but it's good. And to Nigel, I did see Nigel the other day and thought his pictures were good. Sound was a little bit low, but pictures were very good and good to see you again. So let's hope by the time it comes to your turn that you've managed to find some sound. Keep fingers crossed. Right, around to you then, Mike. I always have trouble finding your call. G0, isn't it? MJW to take it. Straight KOE with a quick test card.
Right. There you go, there's another view of the amplifier. G0 MJW. It's not quite focused, but the boards came from Razvan, but the bits I've done are only these bits at the end. These two amplifier, these two control boards, that one there. Oops, which has got an Arduino on it. Oh dear, make you seasick all this going backwards and forwards. You get the idea. It's a very, very simple board. Just trying to do some software. Right, Gary, you were asking about the Baofeng. So let me just find it. Yes, well, Gary's got lots of PAs. These are incredibly cheap. Really, really cheap. it works too. They're about £35 delivered, and this is a new one, new model. They come in all sorts of ludicrous colours. It's even got USB-C charging on the back if you don't trust the charger, which I suggest you don't, having looked inside it. It works. It's got a torch as well. And you can program it over a serial port. I've only got a couple of channels in at the moment, but I need a new cable actually. I managed to damage my existing programming cable, and it doesn't really quite fit in, so I've ordered another one. Anyway, that's what it is. Standard Baofeng. And when I looked, where can I put it? Nope, that's hidden behind the clock. When I looked at it on the spectrum analyzer, the second harmonic is 60 dB down relative to the carrier on both bands, 2 and 70. I've not tried it anywhere else because it's not supposed to work anywhere else. But for the price, you know, these are remarkable, and it's disposable, isn't it? You can leave it in the car, and if somebody takes it, well, it's not like losing one of those Icom radios, or a Yaesu radio, or a Kenwood radio. It's relatively easy to replace if it gets damaged or anything like that. So that's what it is. Yeah, not sure there's anything else to talk about. So 7-3 everybody. I might be on next week actually. I'm not sure. Will I? No, I won't be on next week. So I'll catch you in a few weeks' time. Right. I think it goes round to Adam again. SP9APQ. Good to see you. And that talk, by the way, paper rather, by Daniel, I did read that. I thought it was really interesting. Dave's just challenged the results, which is absolutely right to do so. I'm sure there's some assumptions there that need to be corrected for, and the way non-linear systems behave does require some work on it. But it's a good first idea of how things are. And I don't think the beacon takes that much of the power. But also I noticed that the levels, it's definitely incompressant, because as a strong signal comes on, everything goes down, including the beacon. But it's not in noise compression. When the narrowband transponder came on the first time, it was incredibly sensitive. You know, you come on with a weak signal and the thing would bounce up and down the noise pedestal. So that's been addressed by reducing the gain, and it's a lot better now. But of course the penalty for that is the stations need to run more power. But we're pretty much limited by the uplink. So if they were to make the DATV transponder a lot less sensitive, then I'd be fine, because I could increase my transmitter power, and I could have a much better carry to noise ratio on the downlink, because the noise floor would be lower. But other people with less power would not be able to get in, so that's why it's set where it is. Good compromise, I think. About time the beacon was redone, though. In terms of the video, it's getting a bit tired now, and be nice to see something in there about the rest of the station and everything else. So with that, round to you, Adam. G0MJW, sorry for waffling.
Audio check as always. Yes. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you, Mike, for the microphone. I agree with you. But I think maybe just look to the web page. In March 2020, the beacon configuration was changed. Yeah, from 2 megasymbols to current 1.5 megasymbols. I think that must be calculated, but I think 1.0 it should be okay also. Maybe. This very interesting readings for me was on the last week. If somebody have problems with Pluto, I should give advice for maybe you use this, maybe not, who knows, but I find that okay, maybe I should switch off webcam or the move. Okay, on the taskbar is a icon for the net, for the settings of the net, and when we click on it, we have many okay, first many things. Change cards options. We click this kind of text, yes, and we see something like Ethernet, Pluto SDR USB Ethernet card, so we can switch it off, yeah, so we can switch it off and click back again, and there is automatically Pluto is coming to us, and maybe it helps when you have Pluto connected to by the USB. Maybe this helps for the contact with Pluto, for the some kind of resetting this Pluto. Another option is to click. Maybe I can show you. Click not left but right to the icon. If you have Windows 10, of course. I think Windows 11 it's unstable for now. So we have equipment manager, okay, and we have also okay, we have USB controllers menu, and we just also can switch USB from there, yeah, and click to this again. It will be come back our Pluto to the life, yeah. We can talk to the Pluto again. Another trick is use SDR console. So after one time of using SDR console and switch it off, and then resetting, which I show you in the very easy way. Okay. Oh yes, this way. Yes, we can back Pluto's also to the life. Yeah. So that was the three tricks to communicate, to resetting, communicate with Pluto. Sometimes maybe works. So that's all from me, and I don't know to whom I can give microphone. So I'm calling to Gary, Zulu Sierra 6 YI.
I standing by for Nigel. Go ahead. Solve it by just applying settings again, and then it'll lock. It's not locking. But you're almost there. You had it the first time without audio. I'll give you another turn. I'll stand by for you from ZS6YI. Okay. But what's my audio so low? What's going on? Let me just see. That's interesting. Even my side, I've got a problem. Anyway, I can't hear myself. Maybe it's something wrong. Right. Firstly, thank you very much, Mike. And I just want to go through the notes there. Very, very interesting build on that amplifier, really looking good. And the milling work looks excellent. So you've done a great job. I don't know why I'm not receiving this audio, but it seems to be okay. Okay. And then Peter noted on the boiler, well, that comes first. I remember a very, very wealthy lady on the Queen Elizabeth. They docked in Durban Harbour, and a reporter asked her, with all her money, what's the most important thing in life to her? And she said, to keep warm. And if you think about it, she's right. Just to keep warm. That was her thing. thanks on the Baofeng introduction there. Very, very nice radio for virtually nothing. You're quite right, and yet it's a remarkable piece of kit. I had some down at the salt mine, and they're working well, but now South African ICASA group has come in with a rule or a law or whatever, that if you use a Baofeng, you can face up to, I think, 200,000 Rand fine. So I don't know. It looks like the bribe wasn't enough, so they've chucked them out. We want to welcome on YouTube Peter, OE6DZF, Stuart, ZR6 Whiskey Tango, Albert, Ocean November 4 Alpha Alpha Hotel, Jochen, DH1KJ, and also others on the main channel, on the BATC site, the wideband site. And I just see, let me just see, there's many. Dave, GKQ is also watching. Now, talking about a paper, there will be one interesting one, I think. I was part of it, so that's why it's interesting, by a couple of radio amateurs. I don't want to talk too much, but it will be on AMSAT DL in due course. And it's going to be regarding the Doppler effect on the satellite, with a lot of mathematics involved. Nice little study, and it will be presented to AMSAT DL, I think their next publication. And once that's been publicized or published, we can then maybe discuss. We'll discuss the issue. Anyway, with that, guys, I'm going to call it a day on the net. I don't know how good my audio is. I'll see you later. It's probably the headphones. Thanks, Mike. And yeah, it's a pity Nigel's not making it. But anyway, Nigel, we'll see right at the end. But I'm going to pass it to Leon. With that, I'll close the net from the side officially. Thanks to everybody for coming up today on the Easter weekend. Wish everyone a happy Easter, what's left of it. And we'll see each other next week, all being well. ZS1 Mike from ZS6 Yankee India.
Okay, Gary, ZS6YI and the group ZS1MM returning. I forgot I pulled the plug on my new little pre-driver amp because it runs so hot. So during the rest of the overs, I pull its plug. I'll have to mount it on a piece of heatsink or something. It's all cast aluminium, but it runs too hot to my liking. It's obviously not designed for 100% duty cycle as it is. Anyway, okay. Yes, comments. Yeah, Gary, you didn't comment on the loss on your feeder, which I calculated. It's gone. Martin, yeah, okay. I don't think he had anything there. Mike, the Baofeng, you say you need to program it through a serial port, but it looks like that thing's got a full keyboard. Can't you punch in the frequency from the front? I don't like radios that you have to do it on a computer. My Baofengs are like that, but I mean they were the first UHF only ones that they brought out for. They were like really for next to nothing, and they work perfectly. But that you had to set up with a computer. It's only got a volume knob and a channel switch. Doesn't even have a squelch. So I don't think it's got a squelch spot. You can just open the squelch with a button, I think. But it's just volume and channels. I don't like that. But for the price. But yours seem to have a full keypad in front. So surely I can't believe that you can't punch in the frequency. Anyway, okay, I've got to run. My next door neighbor is looking for some TV coax. Apparently his is all eaten up by the sun and he wants to watch TV. Well, it's load shedding at the moment, so he's not going to watch any TV right now, but maybe when the power comes on 6 o'clock, he'll want to watch TV. At least he's found the fault in his satellite system. So I must go and find my roll of RG6. Okay, cheers to everybody, and Nigel, you give it a go again. We want to see you. You're almost making it. The carrier is there, but and the symbol rate locks, but the carrier doesn't lock. So it seems like you have some bad frequency stability or something there in the exciter. Okay, cheers everybody. 73s from ZS1 Mike. Now giving it to Peter. Peter GW7BZY. Bye bye.
GW7BZY return Chile on, yeah, cheers for that. Yeah. GW7BZY return Chile on, yeah, cheers. Onto the group. I hear my voice coming through, so all's working well, I think. Yeah, maybe I should fiddle about with the dish, Martin, but I think I fancy putting the dish up anyway. It's quite nice to have a receive-only dish. It's a bit of a compromise, having both on the same one, I find, and it's higher up, and I can put a better dome over the transmit antenna. I'm not worrying too much about the effect on the receive. So the one will be transmit, one will be receive, and of course it does interfere a little bit with the receive. It does desense a little bit. I'm just looking at. I can see the antenna now with the plastic bag blowing about. I put a new plastic bag on it. There might be some water in the LMB. I expect that might might be an issue as well, because the plastic bag had ripped. I thought plastic was supposed to be indestructible and last forever and destroy the planet, but unfortunately the sun and the occasional sunshine and wind had certainly frayed my plastic bag on the dish, on the LMB, should I say. So I'm going to put it, and it'll be down at hand height, so I can adjust it easily. That's the plan anyway. And I have a place for it, and I'm hoping that it'll see over the top of the fence. There's a bit of an embankment at the back of the house, and anyway, I've got enough scaffold pole. I'll put a scaffold pole into a concrete base, and then put a dish on it. That's the plan anyway. And I have a couple of spare dishes lying around, so it's not overly expensive. Only thing I can't find is my trussel. So I might have to buy a new one. I've already priced the one up in Screwfix. It's horrendously expensive. It's going to cost me, like nearly £50, I think, which is ridiculous for an iron bar. But anyway, never mind. Complaining. Nobody's interested. That's about it, really. I forget. Did anybody say anything that was worth commenting on? I don't think so. It's all good to see everybody in, and hopefully I've got enough signal. Not too much signal. Hopefully, I'm just going to check. Oh, I can't see anyway. I don't think so. Somebody would complain. No, nothing on the text. Thanks everybody. Good to see everybody. Won't be on next week. Working, and hopefully I'm going to go out now and look for my iron bar, and if I can find it, I'm going to start digging an hole and get with that. The boiler people are going to come in next week. The wife's discovered a person. She's heard from the neighbours had a recommendation, is what I'm trying to say. So that will happen next week, and that will deplete the old piggy bank a little bit. Certainly more than I'd like. I'd like to be spending it on something else. There we are. What can you do? There we are. That's GW7BZY. Catch you all next week. Blah blah blah. Thanks to you, Gary, for bringing us in. I was going to say, shiny spots. You need makeup, Gary. That's what's missing. hot spots on the head. That's not good, is it? No hot spots here. It's perfectly flat lighting. Just to mention, as Leon too. Leon's good. He's got his lighting sorted. From GW7BZY.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether it was Nigel coming in or not. If it was, he hadn't selected the virtual cam on OBS. Let's mute that audio there. No thanks. That's my one. I think it's a lovely little radio. Works surprisingly well for a silly little radio. So most of the time, locally, I use the. It used to be the Retinus 380 with the hacked firmware, the DMR side of things, but now it's got the TYT, which is what I use. I have a hotspot on Brandmeister, which run at MMDVM. There we go. So I can access the DMR side of things. So that's also an open spot which is sitting doing nothing at the moment. Which is another versatile hotspot. But the MMDVM hotspot works exceedingly well. Right, 7.3's tool and good net as usual. And look forward to next week. Should be on. I do like the 3 o'clock time. It means that I can have lunch and do the washing up. Anyway, 7.3's all and Ranchi there, Mike from G8KOE.